I'm Becca, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a delicious taco soup that you can make any time of the year. So first of all, let's go ahead and take a look at the ingredients that we're going to need to make this. So these are all of the ingredients that you're going to need to make the soup. The recipe calls for 1 can of petite diced tomatoes, 1 can of pinto beans. The recipe calls for 1 can of black beans, but I'm going to be substituting with these cannellini beans just because that's what I have on hand and I don't think it really truly matters. It also calls for a can of green chili enchilada sauce. You're going to notice that this one's 28 ounces. The original recipe only calls for 10 ounces, so I'm just going to add maybe a little over 1/3 of the can to this recipe. And the original recipe also calls for canned corn. I had frozen corn on hand, so I'm going to use this up instead of canned corn as well. Okay. It also calls for 1 14-ounce can of chicken broth, but I'm going to use this better than bouillon. It calls for 1 packet of taco seasoning mix, which is approximately 2 tablespoons of this taco mix, so I will just be using that. It calls for canned chicken. I'm going to be using ground beef instead, just because I have that I need to use up from a taco bar that I had last night. It calls for 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cumin, and last but not least, 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder. Oh, and just a quick disclaimer on the meat. You can use any kind of meat that you want as long as it's cooked. So you could use pork, you could use chicken, or you could use beef. So again, just make sure that meat is pre-cooked before you add it to your soup. And the recipe says just to add everything to a big soup pot, or in my case, I'm going to be adding it to the Instant Pot. So I don't think it gets much easier than that. Let's go ahead and start adding everything to the pot. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and pop the lid on the Instant Pot. And I'm just going to use the manual button, and I'm going to set this for about 15 minutes. And there we go. After it beeps, you can either do a natural release or you can let it release pressure on its own. It's completely up to you guys. All right, it is officially done and it smells incredible. Let me go ahead and dish up a bowl and I will add toppings to it so that you can see what it looks like. And we like to top it with sour cream, shredded cheese, corn chips, and some avocado. There we have it. This is what we are having for dinner tonight. I hope that you enjoy it as much as we do. I will see you next time. Bye.